Radio. Promoting dialogue.
It's 6 p.m. in Dakar, 7 o'clock in Lagos. Good evening and many thanks for staying tuned to West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and online at wadr.org. Welcome to Newslink. Here are the top stories. At least 16 prisoners escape prison in Nigeria's north-central Nasarawa state. Mali's former Prime Minister and political leader Dramé dies at age 70. Calls intensify for justice as one-month-old infant dies of alleged female genital mutilation in the Gambia despite ban on FGM.
It's a murder case, so we expect that the law handles it as a murder case.
You know, the reason why this is still happening is because we have people at the grassroots level who are trying to empower it. This involves some of our traditional leaders.
Burkina Faso sentences 13 individuals in connection to 2018 terrorist attacks on Ouagadougou. Please stay tuned for details of these stories and more.
Here is Augustine Coley with Newslink.
We are glad you have joined our broadcast this evening. We begin in north-central Nigeria, where search operations are ongoing for 16 inmates who escaped from the medium-security prison central in Kefi, Nasarawa State. The incident occurred in the early hours of Tuesday following a breach of the facility's security protocols. This was confirmed in a statement signed by Umar Abubakar, spokesperson for the Nigerian Correctional Service. WADR's Usma Umar completes the story.
In a statement issued shortly after the incident, the Nigeria Correctional Service confirmed that some inmates overpowered security personnel and attacked staff on duty, creating a situation that enabled the escape of 16 prisoners. During efforts to contain the situation, 5 custodial personnel sustained varying degrees of injuries. 2 of them are in serious condition and are currently receiving urgent medical attention at a government health facility. According to the statement, 7 of the fleeing inmates have since been recaptured and returned to custody, while efforts are ongoing to locate and apprehend the remaining escapees. Following the incident, the Controller General of Corrections, Sylvester Nwakuche, visited the affected facility and ordered a comprehensive investigation into the circumstances surrounding the escape. He emphasized that any staff member found complicit will face disciplinary action. The Nigerian Correctional Service is, at the same time, urging residents in the surrounding areas to remain vigilant and to report any suspicious movement of the escaped inmates to the nearest security agency. For Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, Usman Umar reporting from Abuja.
Elsewhere in the Central Sahel region, particularly Burkina Faso, 3 individuals have been sentenced to life imprisonment in connection with the terrorist attacks that took place on March 2, 2018 in Ouagadougou. The attacks targeted the General Staff of the Armed Forces and the French Embassy in the country. The cases were heard by the Judicial Unit specializing in the suppression of acts of terrorism during monthly sessions held between January and July 2025. Imo Edit has the details in this report.
This information was made public by the prosecutor of the Judicial Police, which specializes in the suppression of acts of terrorism. In total, 6 people involved in the March 2, 2018 attacks against the French Army headquarters and the French Embassy in Ouagadougou have been convicted. 3 of them received life sentences and the other 3 were sentenced to 21 years in prison. Some had been arrested during the counter-terrorism operation of May 22, 2018 in Ouagadougou. The 2 attacks, March 2, left 8 dead and 61 injured, according to the authorities. According to the prosecutor, 65 cases involving 125 defendants were tried between January and July 2025 by the Judicial Police. Among the accused, 13 were sentenced to life imprisonment, 63 received sentences of 10 to 21 years in prison.
A report from Mountain Kaba in Ouagadougou voiced by Imo Edit. Meanwhile, in neighboring Mali, former Prime Minister and political leader Chez Dramé is reported dead. According to family sources, the former Malian politician died on August 12, 2025 in Paris at the age of 70. He has also been a fervent advocate for the fight against corruption and the implementation of political reforms aimed at ensuring better governance. Details by Christopher Atichu.
Chez Dramé, a prominent Malian politician and human rights advocate who hailed from Nioro du Sahel, earned recognition for his unwavering opposition to the authoritarian regime of Moussa Traoré, Mali's dictator from 1968 to 1991. In the 1970s, Dramé emerged as a committed student activist, a role that led to his arrest on multiple occasions under the dictatorship. During his years in exile in France and the United Kingdom, he worked with international organizations such as Amnesty International to expose and denounce human rights abuses across West Africa. Dramé returned to Mali after the fall of Moussa Traoré in 1991 and became a central figure in the country's democratic transition. Over the years, he held several key government positions, including serving as Minister of Foreign Affairs from 2019 to 2020. He also founded the National Renaissance Party, Parina, which advocates for democracy, transparency, and good governance. Dramé's political legacy is deeply rooted in his steadfast defense of human rights, freedom of expression, and democratic values in a nation grappling with institutional challenges. Meanwhile, his funeral is expected to take place in the coming days, with tribute anticipated from Malian authorities and international figures honoring his significant contributions to Mali's modern political history.
Christopher Atichu with that report.
More stories coming up on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
Let's turn our attention to the Gambia, where investigation by the police is ongoing into the death of a 1-month-old baby girl reportedly linked to the practice of female genital mutilation, FGM. Preliminary findings suggest that the infant was subjected to circumcision and subsequently suffered severe bleeding. She was rushed to the Bundun Maternal and Child Health Hospital in Bundun, west of the country, where she was pronounced dead on arrival. Sankule Janko has the details in this report.
2 women allegedly involved in the case are currently in police custody as investigations continue. Meanwhile, body of the 1-month-old infant is at the RVTH mortuary for further examination. Activists opposed to female genital mutilation, FGM, directly attribute this death to a practice that remains widespread in the Gambia, despite its official ban since 2015. Mbasi Mane, a women's rights activist, is among the prominent voices advocating against FGM.
You know, the reason why this is still happening is because we have people at the grassroots level who are trying to empower it. This involves some of our traditional leaders who think that FGM is a good practice that should be, met out on girls. So as a result, some people don't fear doing it. So now that this has happened, as women rights activists, and we will ensure that the people who do this crime are held responsible.
Since its criminalization by the Gambian National Assembly, only 2 cases of FGM have so far been prosecuted. This latest incident has sparked renewed calls from activists urging the Gambian police to treat the crime as a murder case. Elizabeth Kinta Gomez, president of the Pan-African Female Youth Leaders, is one of those voicing concerns.
It's a murder case, and the fact that a $50,000 is fine has been attached to the 2015 Women's Amendment Act as one of the punishments for FGM does not mean that this has to be taken as a shallow case. So we expect that the law handles it as a murder case. It is FGM, but it has resulted to murder, and we expect that the suspects would be prosecuted.
The Gambian National Children's Assembly has also condemned the tragedy that occurred in Wellingara, Kombo North Urban District. In December 2015, the Women's Amendment Bill was adopted by the Gambian National Assembly to prohibit female circumcision. Section 32A of the Act makes it an offense for any person to engage in female circumcision. Those who violate this law face a penalty of up to 3 years in prison or a fine of $50,000, approximately $1,250 or both. The act also stipulates a life sentence in prison if the circumcision results in death. Last year, supporters of the practice led an unsuccessful campaign in front of the National Assembly to lift the ban, promising to continue their efforts.
Sankele Janko-fied that report. Elsewhere in Cape Verde, nearly a dozen people have been confirmed dead after devastating floods hit the island of South Vincent during the weekend. Heavy rains triggered the disaster, leaving several others missing. The government has declared a state of national disaster and announced 2 days of national mourning. For some political matters, we head to Benin, where the National Autonomous Electoral Commission, SINA, has unveiled the electoral calendar for the 2026 general elections. According to the calendar, the electoral roll will be posted from October 15 to the 29th, 2025 for voters to verify all information concerning them before the elections. Presidential candidates will have already begun registering, with the dates for submission of applications set from October 10 to the 14th. The electoral calendar indicates that a provisional list of candidates will be published on October 26, 2025, and the final list on October 31, 2025. Meanwhile, the first round of the presidential election is scheduled for April 12, 2026, with results to be announced 2 days later on April 14, 2026. In the event of a second round, such election shall be held on May 10, 2026, and results will be announced 2 days later on May 12, 2026. Still on politics, but now in Cote d'Ivoire, 2 officials of the opposition PPACR who were arrested a few days ago are currently in custody. They face charges including terrorism, conspiracy against state authority, and participation in an insurrectional movement and destruction and arson of property. According to judicial authorities, the 2 are allegedly linked to the violence that occurred on August 1 in the Yopougon commune of Abidjan. Leader Kwasi Morsi, a former Minister of Defense, and Kone Boubacar, a retired ambassador, both officials of the PPACR, were referred to the anti-terrorism section of the Abidjan Code on Monday and placed in custody. Meanwhile, the opposition PPACR calls for their unconditional release. The party of former President Laurent Gbagbo says it's denouncing the wave of arrests targeting its members, describing it as an attempt to silence in political opposition. As a reminder, political tension continues to intensify in Cote d'Ivoire ahead of the October 25 presidential election. Now, elsewhere in Liberia, a state-run university instructor is facing charges of armed robbery and attempted murder. According to police investigations, the suspect, Phoebe Emery Johnson, was arrested on last Wednesday doing an attempted robbery at the EcoBank head office in Monrovia. The police report states that Johnson allegedly entered the bank's private storeroom, pulled out a single-barrel shotgun, and threatened to kill a bank employee while demanding money. WADR's Monrovia correspondent Abraham Parker reports.
A CCTV footage captured a bank employee named Angeline Sala engaging in a fist fight and subsequently activating an alarm, which led to her rescue by a colleague who restrained the suspect until police arrived. According to police spokesperson Cecilia Clark, suspect Johnson admitted to purchasing the firearm for $60 in Ganta, Nima County, claiming it was for personal protection.
At approximately 9:45 a.m., Suspect Johnson entered the private banking room of EcoBank, disguised with a nose mask. He closed the office door behind him, pulled a single-barrel shotgun from his black backpack. He demanded the money stored in the office and tussled with the victim for about 10 minutes and attempted to seal her mouth.
Suspect Phoebe Johnson now faces charges of armed robbery, attempted murder, and possession sale of illegal items under the revised Penal Code of Liberia. The police spokesperson further noted that the suspect has been forwarded to court.
These charges are in accordance with the revised Penal Code of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. Johnson will be forwarded to court immediately.
Meanwhile, the Citizens Action Committee, a civil engagement group in Liberia, is calling for further investigation into the alleged armed robbery case. The group's head, Philip Blambo, mentioned that various CCTV video clips show the suspect wearing different outfits compared to what he wore during his arrest. He asserted that the location of the video was in a private office and not a bank teller station where transactions typically occur. For Newslink on WADR, Abraham Parker, Monrovia.
You are listening to Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Here is a reminder of our top stories. At least 16 inmates escaped prison in Nigeria's north-central Nasarawa state. Mali's former prime minister and political leader Dramé dies at age 70. Calls intensify for justice as 1-month-old infant dies of alleged female genital mutilation in the Gambia despite government ban on FGM. Burkina Faso sentences 13 individuals in connection to 2018 terrorist attacks on Ouagadougou. We also have a guest interview and sports news. Please stay with us.
Fresh and breaking news all the time. Hear it first as the news breaks, only on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
We are streaming live on YouTube at WADR, on Facebook, WADR English service. Let's now take you to Ghana, where the Office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations is urging religious leaders to formally relay prophecies or spiritual revelations of national significance to the government before making them public. Presidential Envoy Efforts Afri Ankara says the move is not to restrict prophetic freedom, but to ensure messages with potential security implications, especially those concerning top officials, are responsibly reviewed and managed. However, the move is drawing varied reactions from a cross-section of the public. Nadidititi reports.
Last week's tragic military helicopter crash that claimed 8 lives has prompted the Office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations to call on religious leaders to formally submit any prophecies or spiritual insights for national importance to the government before making them public. In the aftermath of the crash, numerous videos of prophets have flooded social media, with many claiming to have foreseen the calamity. In a letter signed by the Presidential Envoy Elvis Efrie Ankara, urged that revelations with implications for high-profile political leaders, governors, national security, or public stability be channeled through his office for urgent review and possible escalation. However, the unprecedented request has drawn mixed reactions from the public, with some questioning how spiritual revelations fit into governance and national security.
Many of them are saying things where coming true. So it be like sometimes they don't take their things serious.
I wouldn't be in 100 support to that. The prophecy can be sent to the presidency, but do they believe in it?
Defending the decision, Ms. Efrie Ankara said most prophecies circulating online lack direct communication with relevant officials, yet carry some serious security implications. He stressed that the Bible itself encourages testing and reviewing prophecies before acting on them.
It's a call for collaboration so that we avoid situations where people are traumatized, people are distraught, families are distraught, and then somebody says, oh, this is just the beginning. There are 4 more plane crashes. I think that is a bit worrying. And then you are talking about Air Force. These are matters of security. So it's not just any prophecy, bring it to us.
As the debate unfolds, the government insists the measure is aimed at safeguarding public stability while ensuring the prophetic voice remains a constructive force in national life. For WDR, Nadidi Tete, Accra.
Still in Ghana, the opposition New Patriotic Party NPP says it will not contest the upcoming Tamale Central by-election, citing the need to avoid political tension following the death of the constituency's MP Dr. Murtala Mohammed in the August 6 helicopter crash. The party says the decision taken at the National Steering Committee meeting is meant to honor the late MP and other victims of the tragedy while promoting unity during the period of national mourning. Evans Namako is the Director of Elections for the NPP.
Opinions may vary on this, but under the circumstance, and if you do assessment of the statement issued by the General Secretary, I think it communicates clear to the whole world. And mind you, the New Patriotic Party has strong following in the constituency. That notwithstanding, we will not want to hurt any interest, but to make the party take this position, which is heavy though, but we feel that to lose a member of parliament in this manner does not really provide us any opportunity to win the seat. But just to let the world know that, yes, democracy is contestation of ideas, winning a seat is not an end in itself. But just for us to communicate to the world that this is New Patriotic Party, we may go in and win, but to what end? And so I think the decision of the party, we put into consideration the concerns of the regional party in Northern Region, the concerns of the constituency party, as well as the bigger picture.
Evans Nimako is the Director of Elections for the opposition New Patriotic Party, NPP, in Ghana.
Politics, analysis on major news, social matters, and all. This is A Guest.
In this segment, we take you back to the story from the Gambia about ongoing police investigation into the death of 1-month-old baby girl reportedly linked to the practice of female genital mutilation, FGM. Preliminary findings suggest the infant was subjected to circumcision and subsequently suffered severe bleeding. Reactions have since begun pouring over this development, especially as the practice remained banned in the Gambia. Our guest is Gambian human rights activist Mbasi Mane.
First of all, when I saw it, I was like, this is disappointing that people are still doing this. They're doing this in secret, despite the fact that we have a law banning it. People are not respecting the law, and they are violating, the rights of young girls in the Gambia. And this is a crime. When the law says this is banned and it is not good, people shouldn't do it. I see no reason why they should involve a toddler. And it is rather unfortunate and very shocking that, someone born within weeks had to encounter such a barbaric, act and eventually passed away. So the police are investigating to know the circumstances surrounding and how and who is involved, the circumstances, and so we are waiting to see how the court is going to go about it, whether it is going to be a manslaughter or it is. But I know it is a crime that has been committed, and the people who commit this crime should be held responsible.
Now that you talk about the government or the police says it is investigating the matter, how does this help to solve the problem? Do you believe that an investigation will put an end to this practice in the Gambia?
We hope so. If the law enforcers are doing their job as they're supposed to be, it should be able to end, and people should be very vigilant and understand. They should set an example, on the perpetrators. People who are involved in this whole mess should be held accountable. The reason why this is still happening is because we have people at the grassroots level who are trying to empower it. These involve some of our religious leaders, some of our traditional leaders who think that FGM is a good practice that should be, met out on girls. So as a result, some people don't fear, doing it. And if this girl did not die, maybe nobody will know that she has undergone FGM, the little baby. So now that this has happened, we are very vigilant as women rights activists. We are watching, we are waiting for their report and their reaction, and we will ensure that the people who do this crime are held responsible.
Now, finally, what would you say to women who are still carrying out these activities? And as a women rights activist, what would you say about women still carrying out this practice?
Yes, I've been saying it, and I will still say it, that FGM is a violation of human rights, especially on girls. And it is a crime in the Gambia. Whoever does it, will face consequences when it is known, because sometimes reporting these cases are very difficult at community level. People don't want to be stereotyped or stigmatized because they report certain individuals who are carrying it out. But when it is known like this one, you will be held liable for everything that you have done on the girls. Yeah, we are playing with the court also to ensure that, justice is served.
Mbasi Mane is a Gambian human rights activist. Now here comes Christopher, our teacher, with the latest in the world of sports. I'm hearing some news coming about, Senegal settling to a draw and Nigeria suffering in the hands of other people in the ongoing charm. Please give us the details about that.
Tonight, I'm sure Imo will not be a happy person, but all the same, it's time for sports. Augustine, good evening.
Good evening, Chris.
So let's delve deeper into what's happening with some Chan tournament, as defending champions Senegal were forced to settle for a 1-1 draw against determined side Congo in their second Group D fixture at the ongoing Total Energy African Nations Championship Chan Pamoja 2024 tournament ongoing in Zanzibar. The result actually leaves Senegal on 4 points from 2 matches, with Congo on 2 ahead of tonight's ongoing game between Nigeria and Sudan. And so far, that particular game, it's been some 65 minutes into action, and results indicate that Sudan is leading Nigeria 4-0 in that particular game ongoing as we speak.
What's happening to the Super Eagles? What's happening to the Super Eagles?
Imo would have to explain that. And then also with some news coming in from the tournament, the Confederation of African Football CAF has written to the local organizing committee in Kenya of the Total CAF African Nations Championship Chan 2024, raising some serious concerns in relation to breaches in security measures in Kasarani Stadium during Kenyan's national team's matches. CAF strongly condemns the continuous security breaches, including the incident that took place on Sunday, August 10, 2025 during Kenya and Morocco Chan fixture. And that also some development coming in from Chan. And finally, let me take you to some news coming in indicates that the English Premier League returns this particular Friday, August 15, and first game is between Premier League winners Liverpool against Bournemouth.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
Thank you, Christopher Aticho, for the latest in the world of sports. And that brings us to the end of this edition of Newslink here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Thank you for listening, and many thanks to Ismaila Kamara and Umu Danyogo for the technical support. Do interact with us via our social media platforms, X, Instagram at WADR English, and on Facebook at WADR English Service. I am Augustine Cully. Good evening.
And many thanks to you for listening to Newslink via Hot 104.3 FM, Newmi FM 94.0,
Hilltop Radio 104.7 FM,
and Veritas Radio 102.9 in Banjul, the Gambia. We also appreciate our listeners in Liberia via Alternative Youth Radio 98.9 FM, Lofa County,
Radio Kagama 94.5 FM, Nibe County, DCN Radio 91.3 FM, Riverside County, Wakat FM Radio, Baga, Liberia, Radio Baf FM 91.3 Sierra Leone.
For you listening via Radio Pad 95.1 Damango, Savannah region, and on Royals FM 104.7 Wenchi, Ghana, we say a big thank you. Remember, West Africa Democracy Radio is all about you, your views, and your opinions.